Okay, today we are going to finish up that page we started yesterday. We just finished up with Tomas and his 100-page book, so we're moving on to the next page. Mr. Roman's class is making 200 origami cranes for an art project. So far, they have made 3/4 of the cranes. Label and shade the bar model to show their progress. Okay, first thing you want to notice is how many sections is it being broken into, and that'd be 4. That tells you you're going to take 200 and divide by 4. If you don't know, work it out, but it would be 50. Okay, so we would count by 50 up here. And since down here we've got percent, the total percent would be 100%. You're going to divide that by 4, which is 25. So each one of these represents a 25% increase. Okay, one of our goals is to make connections between fractions and percents. So they've made 3/4 of the crane. We're going to shade in 3 of the 4 sections to show 3/4. So what percent of the cranes have they made? So we've shaded them 3. The percent that goes with that is 75%. How many have they made? What matches up with 75 is 150. And so we can say, and 150 cranes. Explain. So how do we know that? Well, we know that 75% is equal to 3/4 of 200. And how do we know that? We can do that by a couple things. Whenever you're doing 3/4 of a number, that's the same as multiplying it by 3/4. So we could do it like that. That would be 600 divided by 4. When you do 600 divided by 4, you're going to get 150. Or you can think of it as if you break 200 into 4 parts, that's 50. And then the 3 on the fraction means you have 3 of them, so multiply it by 3, which is 150. All right, moving on. Oh, before we move on, let's point out, so you're supposed to be recognizing 3/4 is always going to be 75%. Another way to think of that, or the reason that is because if you think of 3/4 and you're trying to get to 100, you have to multiply by 25. 3 times 25 is 75, and anything over 100 can be represented as a percent. Okay, so 3/4 is always 75% of something. Okay, let's keep going. Number 4, on Monday, 30% of the 900 students at Maple Middle School walked to school. Label the tick marks on the double number line. Okay, so the first thing you're going to count is how many spaces, not lines, but spaces or sections. You should recognize that that's 10, and that we're going to take the total, 900 divided by 10, which is 90. We're going to count by 90s. This is where your multiplication facts come in handy. This makes this problem so much easier. Okay, and then we're also multiplying 100 by 10 as well because it's split into 10 sections. So we're counting by 10s at the bottom. All right. How many students walked to school on Monday? So it says 30%, so we'll come up here. 30%, what does that line up with? 270. So 270 students. It also wants to know what fraction of the students walked to school. So again, how many sections were there? 10. Sorry, I left one out. So that's the denominator. How many total? How many sections of them walked to school? 1, 2, 3. 3/10 of 900. What we're also supposed to be paying attention to here is relating the percent to the fraction. That 3/10 is always 30%. Last one. Of the 500 sixth graders at Eduardo School, 10% are left-handed. How many sixth graders at Eduardo School are left-handed? Draw a model to show your work. Okay, I like the fraction bar, but I kind of use it like a double number line. Okay, you're always going to want to label, so I'm going to put students here, percents down here, and they always start at 0. Percent is always ending at 100%. That would mean you have everything. And in this problem, all the students, the total is 500, so that's what goes up here. 10% are left-handed, so we need to show 10% on our kind of number line, okay? So what can I count by that will give me 10%, but also gets to 100? You're going to be thinking of your factors of 100. 1 times 100, 2 times 50, 4 times 25, 5 times 20, and 10 times 10. Which one of these can I count by and I'll still get a 10, and I'm going to go with the 10. Okay, so that means I'm going to split it up into 10 sections. Okay, 9 lines, 10 sections. 100 divided by 10 means I'm counting by 10s here. Okay, since I'm just showing my work, I'm going to put a ... to say this is extending. I only have to get to 10%, so I'm going to save us some time and not draw the rest of that. So how do we figure out what goes at the top? This is 500 divided into 10 sections, so you've got to think, what is 500 divided by 10? That's 50. So each one of these is worth 50. And I'm going to continue counting by 50s, but I'm going to stop because, again, I only need to know 10%. 10% of 500 is 50 students. Okay. The only thing I would say about this one is just be carefully reading, because this does ask left-handed and how many are left-handed, but sometimes I might say this many are left-handed, how many are right-handed? So you have to kind of watch out for that. Okay? And then you're going to continue by working on that next page as an assignment. Okay.